Now I have a very interesting fireside session with Hardik Agarwal, Director Dineshchandra R. Agarwal Infracon. And what we are going to talk about is the execution challenge. Hardik, a flash report prepared by the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation in October last year said 1 in 5 infrastructure project was delayed by more than 5 years. And ये मैं नहीं बोल रहा हूँ, ये government खुद बोल रही है. And cost overruns reach a staggering of 4.3 lakh crores. This clearly suggests execution issues continue to dog India's infrastructure sector. Now, Hardik, with all the system in place, we have also heard Honorable Minister in the morning, in the afternoon, PM Gati Shakti, everything is same. But still, the concerns remains the same. There is no such synchronization yet. Otherwise, we would not have 4 lakh crore projects worth still under implementation. What is your opinion on it?
Rahul, there are two things. You mentioned cost overrun, and second, you mentioned time or projects going on, execution challenges. So it's very critical to understand that cost overrun means you are taking a base cost of something that was estimated versus cost of what is being implemented. That is not necessarily an execution challenge. It can be majorly because of what at the planning stage or at the conceptualization stage, the authority or any a consultant who is preparing a bid, they might have considered a X cost, but when you put it to bid, it takes from the conceptualization stage to the construction stage. There's a 6, 8, 10 month, whatever. We don't have any fixed deadline, so it takes time, and inflation, everything, market price rise, all of that. The final cost of construction for a bidder may be much more than what the government might have estimated. And this estimated cost also includes the land acquisition cost for the government, which it is in good effort also to provide proper compensation to anyone who is from whom government is acquiring the land. So cost overrun is not necessarily because of execution.
No, I'm saying not because of execution. It is because of the execution challenges happening. That's why the projects are not happening. Hence the cost overrun.
So I know the cost overrun is what my opinion is. Cost overruns largely happen before execution even starts.
Okay.
The bids and everything. Despite us seeing a very competitive trend, I still say that there is a cost overrun because of improper planning by the DPR consultants, the people who prepare project reports for the government. And later on, when the project goes out to bid, when the project goes out to get executed, there is a big difference. So yes, cost overrun is that, and execution challenges definitely environmental clearances, land acquisition, or an event which like something like the COVID pandemic, that definitely leads to an execution. But when a contractor or concessionaire bids a project, it is understood that they have taken into account every challenge that there is or there should be. From my perspective, it cannot be an excuse that after the bid, there was something and there's an execution challenge to do what exactly the bid asked you to do. No.
Hardik, you have what I understood from some of the reports and what I've understood from the financials of your company too. You have a solid order book. Have you ever faced such challenges? I'm purely talking in terms of execution challenges. How is your I don't know how to put this question in front of all. Thank God government people are not there, minister is not here. So how is your experience working with the government agencies?
With all due respect, the people that I have worked with, they have always supported a project. And I'm not saying this because I am doing only government jobs. I'm saying this because, it's about your intention. Okay. The authorities know that the intention of the contractor is to deliver a project, then the authorities will help them deliver the project. If you go in with the intention that, okay, I want to file, file claims, I want to, pinpoint 15 mistakes. I want to throw every risk and responsibility back to the authority. Then, okay, it might be wonderful working in Europe or US, but in India, if you really want to work, you have to work with the authority. So definitely it's not our responsibility entirely, some of these things, but there is nothing wrong with supporting, playing our part in helping clearances get moved faster, everything. So, in today's time, as you said, you mentioned the figure 5 years ago, since the last 5 years. So there's a big, big difference from 5 years back versus now. Yeah. I mean, now I'm seeing that for some of these projects, there is so much pressure on the government authorities themselves that they are more proactive than us. I get a report from, about something that has happened on my site from somebody in the authority side before even my site person can tell me.
I was going to ask you this particular question about the mounting pressure from the government agencies to complete the work. So how does this work for a private contractor or a publicly listed contractor like you?
Well, we're not
Sorry,
listed,
you're not
yes.
listed.
But it is a very, very big support. Like, for example, we are executing a very prestigious project for the Mumbai-Ahmedabad high-speed rail, and there I sense that there is a more sense of urgency in the client than in me, which is very good.
Is it because of the incentives that you get? Because there is timely completion?
Oh, we get definitely, incentive support, but what benefit is to the authority?
Right.
It is my benefit if I complete the project ahead of schedule, which we have, and a number of companies do. But this push that I am seeing now for high pressure projects, it is really benefit to the contractor also as well as to the government. Imagine that a project is completed 1 year ahead of schedule.
Correct.
It saves so much, for the public, government, the citizens are able to use the services much earlier.
Plus it helps you in ratings also.
It helps us in ratings, it helps us in,
And getting the financial.
Of course, why not?
Let me, it's on a more serious note. Can I ask you one thing? Is 50 kilometers road construction per day is possible?
Yes, absolutely.
Are we doing it?
We will be able to do it more sooner than later.
Okay. Do we have a time frame? Because we only hear about
we must understand that 50 kilometers per day. Yes, industry is today capable to build, as I said earlier, industry is capable to build more than 50 kilometers a day, but there has to be scope. Okay, today if you say that can you build 50 kilometers of bridges in a day? No. Okay, you want to build 50 kilometers of highways in a day? Yes. For that, the regulatory framework. See, there was a time when it was 8 kilometers a day, 4 kilometers a day. Then it came to 19, 27, 30. Now we are somewhere close to, I think, 30. Yeah, 30, 40 kilometers a day. So, it's getting there. I'll say in next 3 years, if there is so much left, so many highways and expressways already being built, if there are so many highways and expressways more which get built in time to come, I can tell you 100 kilometers per day, no problem.
One more interesting point comes to my mind is when it comes to infrastructure projects, any infrastructure projects, there are multiple agencies are involved. So how do you see the interministerial, interdepartmental synergies between whether it is MOEF, MORTH, then you have Ministry of Shipping, Power Ministry. There are multiple things out there, municipal corporation. How do we have this synergy?
A big challenge. It's a big challenge. It's a challenge that everyone faces in every project. And you cannot evade these challenges. Every ministry has their own set of norms, their set of doing the procedures, their set of, going by anything. So there is no way to avoid this, there is no way to evade this. It's just something that is a part of the process, and definitely, the whole concept of PM Gati Shakti, this coordination within the different ministerial departments, is a strong part of it is to push this, because at industry, at various levels, we have pushed that more of a single window clearance must be brought in place. So most effective we are seeing, in various countries like Germany, there is a single window clearance for an infra project. You go to one office and they give you all the clearances, all the permissions, and it does not take time.
What I feel about PM Gati Shakti is more evolved role model of project monitoring group. You remember we had this project monitoring group where all those issues supposed to be being on one table and it was supposed to get resolved. So you think this PM Gati Shakti is just one step ahead of what we had in project monitoring group?
It's much ahead.
Evolved.
It's much
Evolved
more. It's actually different. So in the project monitoring group, you are trying to counteract the problems after they have occurred.
Correct.
With Gati Shakti, they will be solved before they even occur.
Right.
So completely, I think, and even after the Gati Shakti, the monitoring group or Pragati will still be there.
Right. Correct. Lastly, Hardik, now that we know that we have this execution challenges still remains in India. Government always talks about आपको ये करना चाहिए, आपको वो करना चाहिए, आपको इस हिसाब से करना चाहिए, इस प्रकार से करना चाहिए, बट कैसे करना चाहिए गवर्नमेंट बताती नहीं है. I have Mr. Abhishek from Chaudhary from PM Gati Shakti who definitely talk about how it can be done, but what is your expectation from the government? कैसे करना चाहिए ये कब आएगा?
सर कैसे करना चाहिए गवर्नमेंट को बताने में कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, गवर्नमेंट बता भी देगी. बट व्हाई डू यू वांट द गवर्नमेंट टू टेल यू? आवर इंडस्ट्री इज देयर टू एक्चुअली ब्रिंग दैट सॉल्यूशन. वी आर हियर टुडे बिकॉज इट इज अप टू अस टू डू बिगर, टू डू बेटर. गवर्नमेंट इज गिविंग अस द स्टेज, द प्लेटफॉर्म, द अपॉर्चुनिटी. If we are building a project, just again quoting one of our other projects, there we have got the probably the most advanced formwork system solution ever made in India. So it's not the authorities will not tell me that, right? It's me, it's my organization, it's my engineering, it's my design, it's my execution team that will decide this. So it's rather very important that the government never tells how to do it. Because the industry, it will only add a layer of policing to what the industry is doing. What should be there is government tells what is to be done. Right? Okay, this X infrastructure asset is to be created, and this is how it should function. And how to get there is the role of the industry.
Correct. But what I feel, when in terms of execution, government plays its part in terms of advising what to do, what not to do. But when it comes to execution from private sector part, when certain things or certain technology you want to implement, there is a sort of restriction. Is there any sort of, sorry to frame me correctly, is there any sort of restriction from the government agencies?
Not really anymore. Okay. Now there is a lot of open mind, the culture has really changed, there is a lot of flexibility. But as a private industry myself, I will also prefer to not go into something very experimental because it is my responsibility of maintaining the asset for X number of years. Right. Even if it is a EPC in project, it's my responsibility to maintain it for a defect liability period. If it's a PPP asset, hell, I will not risk my asset in any way whatsoever.
Right. All right, Hardik, thank you so much for this quick fireside chat with me. I hope all you have enjoyed this and we can have a round of applause for ourselves and for Mr. Hardik.
Thank you so much.
So much.